Welcome to the New World Order Showcase Podcast. Your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist. Couldn't be more excited to have you join us today. On this podcast, we celebrate the champions of change, the up-and-coming life, health and transformational coaches who are fearlessly stepping forward to make a difference in the world. Get ready for inspiring stories, practical tips, and powerful moments that will motivate you to make a positive change in your life and those around you. We're happy to have you join us on this incredible journey as we dive into the world of life, health, and transformational coaches who are lighting up the path towards a better tomorrow.
Hi, and welcome to the New World Order Showcase Podcast. I'm your host, Jill Hart, and with us today is Linda Cain. Linda has been in the event business for more than 3 decades and has helped clients to overcome obstacles to grow engaged audiences and host highly successful events. Whether you need help to get focused and create a clear vision for your event, assistance in outlining your event program, and where to place guests and sponsors for their stage time, or just need someone to help you figure out if you're ready to create a stellar live event, Linda's got your solutions, and she's here today to share with us all about creating an amazing event. Welcome to the podcast, Linda.
Thank you so much, Jill, for having me. Delightful to be here.
I haven't really talked to anybody in the past who's an event planner, so this is kind of exciting for me.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So how did you get into it?
Oh my gosh. I'll give you the short Reader's Digest version. But I was working for a catering company in high school and had a weekend job with them. And I was doing a variety of different kind of events, but a lot of weddings. And we got charged my senior year with doing a golf outing for a law firm in LA to put a golf and awards banquet and things like that for their clients together. And so nobody at the company wanted to work on it. So they're like, give it to the new kid. And I honestly did not know that much about golf, let alone golf tournaments and everything. So I ended up spending a few days at the golf pro shop and asking questions and whatever. And then we ended up putting this thing together and it went off wonderfully. It was great. We had such a blast doing it. And we were able to use 3 different golf courses. And then we had a big, huge dinner at the Beverly Hills Club in Beverly Hills Hotel in LA. And so it was just a lot of fun. And I fell so much in love with doing things other than the weddings and thought, oh my gosh, there's got to be more events that, are out there that we can do, the different kinds of events that we can do. Well, then that summer when I graduated, I got a call from the firm to come and work for the summer as an intern in their marketing department. And they were just creating an in-house events department to handle client events. So the rest is history. I ended up staying there for 14 years working with them. And then I went on to create BluDiamond Event Management, or my own event management company. The firm stayed my client for the first few years of being in business. And then one of the gals that was working for me took over those projects. And I moved on to work with coaches, authors, speakers, and entrepreneurs. So that's how I landed here.
That's kind of an exciting adventure that
It's very
started when
fun.
you were really young, and gosh, who doesn't like planning a party?
I just fell into it. And the thing that I love about it is that I've been able to not only work with coaching and retreats and fulfillment programs and things like that, but we've done so much with nonprofit associations and trade associations. And I feel like we've had our hands on just about every kind of an event that you could possibly think of, from bar mitzvahs to working on one of the breast cancer research there in October. There's a huge breast cancer event for raising funds and women's, awareness around breast cancer. And we've gotten to work on that. We got to work with Betty White when she was alive on 4 times for raising funds for the LA Zoo, for the animals at the LA Zoo, which was one of her charities that she had. So we had the opportunity of working with her, which was a lot of fun. We worked with Cynthia Kersey on the Unstoppable Foundation for raising schools in Africa and building schools in Africa. And we had a lot of our event clients actually went and donated funds to the Unstoppable Foundation and built schools in their name in Africa. So it's kind of been just a beautiful circular give and take and receive that we were able to be doing when she was doing those events. So it's just been a lot of fun. So we've done everything from small, intimate gatherings to 1,000, 1,500 people events and more. So I feel very privileged that our, not only who we work with has expanded through the years, but the types of events that we've done. So I feel like we can just about handle anything.
So what are the different kinds of events that people could have?
Oh my gosh. So in the entrepreneurial world, you will typically find events around a product, a program, a course, or a high level coaching package. And so we call those enrollment events, where they build an event around a particular topic, training, program, product. And you come in for 3 days, and then they sell you into their 6-month, year-long coaching program for a high ticket. Those are typical, that we call those enrollment events. And then there's retreats, where those can also be enrollment events, but they're typically more, you're in a program and you get to go on a retreat with everybody who's in the program. So it might be an international retreat or even domestic, US side. There's a lot of really fantastic places to go and retreat centers in the US that people often don't think about. It's really fun when we work with UK clients. They want to come here for retreats and we want to go to Europe. So,
Of course.
like they're like, I want to go to Vegas and Palm Springs and Florida. And we're like, what? No, we want to go to Italy and Costa Rica. And so it makes it really fun. And then there's virtual events, which are more popular now, of course, since, we all survived 2020, but they were virtual before. And virtual events are really good because they're webinars, they're 1-day classes, you can use them for a masterclass series. You can, do meet and greets, you can do networking. There's so much that you can do now, and people are more open to being done in the virtual space. So those can be very lucrative and also very great for building community and connection. And then there's what we call the hybrid. And the hybrid event, not very many people do those because you're actually doing 2 events at one time. So you're talking to people virtually, but then you'll have a small audience that's with you in person. So you've got to be pretty good hosts to be able to handle both groups and keep them both engaged and make them feel like they're the only ones in the room. So we have a few clients that will do those. They're very fun because the people that come with you in person, you get to spend that dinner hour, evening, an extra day with them. And so there's a more of an intimacy that's built with that smaller audience, while still serving your bigger audience, that couldn't come in person. So it can make a very fun event to do. And then there's just retreats that are just travel retreats. They're not for selling or working on anything. They're just, let's go have an experience, and maybe we'll do a little bit of self evaluation or leadership training or something like that, but it's really more about the experience. So you go hiking in the jungles, or you go to the Dominican tree houses, or you go to Costa Rica and have a tropical rainforest type experience, or you just go to Italy to shop, or whatever you want to put together. So it can be anything and everything.
Interesting. So let's talk about the financial part of it, because I'm personally curious about this. I've never done an event. I've been to a few events, but how does the money end of it work?
So budget are first and foremost, right? So be when you pick what kind of an event you're going to do, you have to be very budget aware. So anything in person is obviously going to cost more than being in the virtual space. Now, having said that, if you're doing a Tony Robbins style 30,000 people in all these 16 Zoom rooms that he has up and big boards and things like that, that can be very cost. That can also have a high ticket cost to it because of the production piece on the backside. But for the typical coach, author, or event host, you can, have 300 people, even 1,000 in Zoom, and manage that very effectively, and probably manage that anywhere from 3,000 to 15,000, depending on what type of setup you want. So it can be very lucrative, because you can charge, 100 people $97 to come, and then maybe 197 or 297 for a VIP experience. So you spend a little extra time with them. And then you have your planner and your check package, which, like I said, can be anywhere 5 to 10,000, 15,000. Sometimes our clients will want us to come and set up a studio in their home so that everything is projected from their home. So that's a little bit more expensive than everybody just staying in Zoom and managing it from Zoom. But if you did a typical, say, tier 1 package in Zoom, you would probably spend about $7,500 to $10,000 on your tech, your support, your planning, your program, coaching, having people be with you in Zoom, helping you to, create welcome signs, music, spotlighting your speakers, putting up the PowerPoint, just helping you to give it a higher level than we're just sitting here. And also having somebody be managing the chat, talking to people, dropping your links so that you can just stay focused on the training. And then if you did any mailing, for example, if you wanted to mail swag out to people, sometimes we get the boxes with the books and binders and things in it. Then you would have the cost of that. So you could probably do a 200-300 person virtual event for, under 25K very easily, even probably closer to 10 if you were very budget conscious. And then if you're selling into a program, let's say you're selling, and the whole purpose of your event is to have a profit, make money, and sell into your coaching program or a product. Then if your product was like $29.97 or $59.97 or, 10,000, 15,000, and, depending on your sales would then of course depend on what your profit margin would be. So typically we see clients have anywhere from 50K to maybe 175 as an average in profits on a tier 1 event. But then if they have a high ticket in for 25K or something like that, where it's a more robust program they're selling people into, and they have 100 people in the room, they'll probably sell a good 12 to 18 of those people into that high ticket. And so they can have a $500,000 event very easily. And we've had some clients that have had, 200-300 people in the room, and they've sold 30-40 of those offers, and they've, had $1 million event in a virtual space. And
Interesting. Do you help them get people in the room?
we have strategies for filling the room and things that they can do. We don't actually fill the room for them, because the host is going to know their best audience and have access to their audience. They've typically been cultivating that audience already over a few years. And so that's not our forte. Our forte is the strategy, the actual mechanics and production of the event, and what you're going to sell and what you're creating that gives you a repeatable process so that you can repeat events after events and have them stay profitable ongoing. And so, but we have a lot of strategies and a lot of joint venture partners that we can plug you into if you need Facebook ads, funnels built, things like that.
So what would you say your average audience size or lead base might need to be in order to fill
If
a
you
room
have,
that had like
if you,
100 or 200 people in it.
if you have if you have an email list of, I'd say 3,000 or more, you could fill 100 people in a room pretty easily. And if you, with that same list, if you wanted to be in person, you would probably fill a room 60 to 80 people. You might reach 100, 110 with some extra effort. The difference being that you're looking at 25K and below for virtual, you're probably looking at 25K to 50, 55K in person, because you're going to have to, well, depending on what you want to do, but the average is that, because you're going to have X amount of people stay on property. If you're staying at a hotel, the hotel's going to want you to have some food and beverage spend. So typically people do a lunch every day for their, VIP people. You have to, tickets are a little bit higher. They're, usually 197 and 3 or 497 to help cover those costs. You can utilize sponsors and speakers to help offset costs as well. It's just a higher ticket, but depending on how you sell and what you're selling, sometimes being in person makes the most sense. And so you're going to hit $1 million. So that 55 that you spend is nothing. But sometimes it's better to make you stay virtually until you build up a process and people want to see you live, and then they'll come be with you live. The key, though, is being able to know that you don't have to sell in order to make your money for the year. So just having an event and taking the proceeds from that event and being visible and teaching and coaching is enough for you, then you would want to stay virtually and not take the gamble on a in-person. But if you're really going to do that high ticket and you're going to have the 100 people in the room, you might want to take a gamble on that in person, because there's just something about being in a room when you're selling a high-end ticket that you have the leveraging of those relationships when you're in person. But they can be done virtually.
Interesting. So do you do many kinds of events where there's multiple people? I mean, like a summit?
Yeah, summits is another type of event. Now, a summit benefits the host more than anyone else on the summit. And the reason that most people do summits is to increase their email list, increase their visibility, and also their connection to other speakers that can potentially attend additional events, or they can do collaborations with. As a summit speaker, when I'm on other people's summits, it's important that I market to my list and get my list there, so that the host then will want to give me the full list of everyone that joined. But if I don't have the 5 people to come or the 10 people to come, whatever the host's recommendation is for being supportive, then I'm only going to get the people that signed up for my session. So it might not be so worth me as a host. But if I'm wanting to build up my visibility with other speakers, being a speaker on a summit is really good, because other people on that summit then will want you to be on their summit. They'll want you to be on their summit. And then it helps you to build your visibility as well. But as far as the person that gets everybody's names and the person that benefits the most from a summit is the host of the summit. So people often get very disappointed because they go on summits and they're like, I only got 50 names. Well, you didn't read your contract correctly. You didn't understand the whole functionality of a summit and why summits are done, and how much of your own marketing and pushing and publicizing of the fact that you were going to be on that summit did you do? And we often find nothing, didn't, forgot about it. And so, okay, that's why you got 50 people. Now
Podcasts work the same way, by the way.
And podcasts exactly work the same way. Podcasts are the new summits. It's like, oh, I'm on 6 podcasts. Great. What are you doing with them? Are you marketing afterwards? Are you connecting with people? Is the gift that you're giving away really something that audience wants? So sometimes you have to have several different gifts in order to be able to match your gift up with the audience of where you're speaking. And then there's retreats, which are my favorite. And I love the working retreats. It's a combination, we call them sweet retreats. It's a combination of teaching, training, and offering something to the audience, charging a higher ticket for people to come and be with you for the weekend because they're going to walk away with a blueprint or a plan or something done. And then selling them into that high ticket offer or making another type of a higher ticket offer at the end of the retreat. And those can be really fun. Those you can make 25, 50K easily in a weekend. And if you do 3 or 4 of those a year, you've added 6 figures to your bottom line without a whole lot of work and effort. And that's with like 10 to 14, 16 people in the room.
Interesting. And where does this normally get held? I mean, does it?
Retreats can be anywhere. I've had clients go, we had a client go to Scotland. We had a client go to Italy. A lot of our clients just go right in their own backyard, Embassy Suites or a local Hyatt that they love or a local neighborhood hotel that they like. And they just bring people to them and they give them an experience. And like I said, they teach and train and people walk out with something done. So they want more. So an example of that would be, have you ever done a VIP day? Do you know what a VIP day is?
No, I really don't.
Okay. All right. So just a quick little education. A
Yeah.
VIP day is if you're typically a coach or speaker, author, entrepreneur, you have different ways of working with your clientele. You do events, and like I said, virtual, in-person retreat type events. You might do master classes, webinars. You might do a training, an all-day training or a half-day training. You might do a little mini series. Most of those are all driven virtually now. They used to be in person, but a lot of them are driven virtually. So those are ways that you reach your audience and have, people work with you. Then you either sell into group programs or you sell into one-on-ones. Well, when you sell one-on-one, you and I might meet for 3 months or 5 months, one-on-one every week and move you along our process. Well, sometimes you can do what they call a VIP day, which is where you charge maybe $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 for a day. And you spend an entire day with that person. Typically you spend it in person, but you can do it virtually as well. And it usually comes with a couple hour, like a 2-hour prep phone call. Then you spend the day with the person and then a 2-hour follow-up in a couple weeks to see what needs to be adjusted. And I've done them myself. So like some of my mentors that I've worked with, I've done a VIP day where I've just gone in where they're at. I spend the whole day, pound out new processes or think of new ways of marketing. Or when I was changing my avatar around about who my target audience was, I did a VIP day to work that process out. And so a VIP day is typically a higher paying day. So if you're a person who does a lot of VIP days, instead of doing those VIP days, still charge that higher price point, but bring your people in together as a group for a weekend. So we're finding that a sweet spot is $2,000 to $2,500, and people will pay that amount to come and spend the weekend together, and 10 to 16 people, and you bring them together, you workshop and teach and train, design a path, give them a 90-day jump start, whatever. And they feel like they've gotten something. We had a gal that taught people how to make their bots in a weekend. We've had people who have done the outline of your book in a weekend and wrote your first 2 chapters. We've had people come in and do your entire makeover and video, do your sales video and a welcome video and some photos and walk out with things like that done, and then sold into ongoing packages. And so it makes it really nice because it's fun for you as a host because you get to be with people. It's a low cost and it's a high ticket entry as if you were having a VIP day with them. So you're doing it as a group, and then you sell into a $5,000, $7,500, $10,000 6-month, a year-long program. And that group has spent the weekend with you, we have found that if you've got 10 to 14 people, you're pretty much going to have half of that group will buy whatever, because they bonded, they want to finish it off, they want to stay with you. And so rather than hitting all those people one-on-one, you now can hit them as a group. And so then every quarter you can repeat that process. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So
My
when I tell
mind is just
people,
like,
yeah.
I'm like
So,
crazy right now.
so when I tell people like, oh, I'm a coach and I work one-on-one and I have VIP days, forget your VIP days. What do you charge? 3,000? Great. Charge 3,000, bring them in for 3 days for a weekend. You'll get time with each person, but there'll be community built, sell that community into a bigger ticket. Now they'll want to stay and hang with each other, or a good portion of them, and then repeat that. And it's a simpler lifestyle around events, but you're still doing events. And like I said, we've had some clients that have added, for example, Leah, she does 2 domestic and then 1 international. And now that's all she does. And then the rest of the year, she might pick up a VIP day here and there, or add somebody to her year-long program if it's a fit.
Wow. Just
So
like
it's fun.
so many options.
There are. And that's what we do, because I know it's like you're probably thinking, wow, I would love to do some of this, but I'm overwhelmed. I don't really know if it's possible. Is it possible for me? And that's what we do, is we work with you to map that out, dive deep in your business, find where the 6 figures are hiding, because I can guarantee you they are hiding there, and pull that out and put it into a formula that works for you, that matches your lifestyle and goals and things you'd like to do. And then events are created, and we call that our event-driven business process.
Oh, I
So
love this.
it's a lot of fun.
And
Yeah.
you have the complete guide that you give
Yes.
away too.
So we have a
So if you're
complete
like
guide. It's
me.
called Profitable Events, a complete guide. And it will take you through a virtual event, a live event, a hybrid event, and a retreat. And there's little exercises for you to do in there, and kind of see which one. And a lot of our clients do 3. They'll do some virtual stuff. They'll do a main in-person event, an enrollment event, and then they'll do a couple of retreats. So it really just depends on what kind of, lifestyle and what kind of events that you want to do. We have clients that just stay virtual through the whole thing. We have others that are only in person. Like I said, it really is what you want to create. So there's a lot of really good things in the guide, and it'll walk you through the different kinds, give you some little exercises to do. And then you're welcome to book a free call with me just to dive in further and help you see what's possible.
Yeah. Wow. I'll definitely be getting that guide, because my mind has just been totally blown. So how do people get in touch with you? I realize there's the guide, but what would be the first step in terms of, if somebody's hearing this and thinking, oh yeah, I can see how I could incorporate maybe some of this in, or maybe they're just like me and their mind is just going in 47 different directions, and get it all pulled together in a way that could make sense for them.
Yeah. They can do you have our calendar link? I can give you our calendar link, and they can book a call. They can also just email me at lindacainoffice@gmail.com. Linda, Linda, Cain, Cain, office@gmail.com. And they can also just text me, book a call at 626-252-2834.
Awesome. And we'll definitely put your link to your website in the show notes, so they can reach you through that too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Events by BluDiamond.com.
And no E on the blue, though. If you type in E, you'll get to us. The reason for that is the most expensive diamond in the world is a blue, and because it's from France, there's no E on the end of their blue.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that. So. I love hearing how different domains come to be, because like mine is thecoachesalchemist.com, but there's no E, because it's supposed to have an apostrophe in there. You can't put an apostrophe in. So
yeah, we just started of course I love diamonds, and Blue's my favorite color. And when we got ready to do our event, we just started thinking about, we were looking at the Kaizen process in Japan about how every day is an improvement.
Mhm.
And it just sort of resonated to me that the diamond, every day it's chiseled and it becomes brighter and more brilliant, and it's uncovered, and there's more pieces of the diamond that's uncovered until it unfolds to be what it is.
Mhm.
And so that kind of went along with the theory. And I'm like, well, let's just do blue diamond because blue's my favorite color and diamonds are rare. And then one of my team members said, yeah, the rarest diamond, was King Louis the 14th or something like that. From France, it's called the blue. And I'm like, great, we're blue diamond. So that's kind of how we got our name. And there was
I
a
love
lot of
that.
tequila involved too.
Yeah, well, of course. Everything sounds great with lots of tequila.
So anyway, so this is,
So,
go ahead. I was just going to say, this has been an absolute pleasure. And I am so pleased that I have blown your mind. I love it when people are open to the possibility and realizing that there's more hiding in their business than they realize, and that events could be that tool to bring it out and to be added to what you're doing in the world.
Yeah, I love this so much. And you're not just like US based, it's the whole world.
Mhm.
And I love things that bring the world closer together.
Yeah.
And this is totally it. So what's the one thing that you want the audience to take away from our conversation today?
Oh, I love that your audience will sit here for just a moment and ponder. If they haven't done an event, is there an event that they could do in their future? And to really seek out and find it. And if they are doing events, how can they make them more engaging, more impactful, and level up their audience to be with them in a different kind of experience than what they're doing currently? Because there are so many wonderful things that you can do, even virtually, that keeps and draws attention in, and the learner learns even more and wants to be with the mentor even more. So just
Awesome.
like Nike says, just go do it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me, Linda.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the U World Order Showcase podcast. We hope you've enjoyed hearing from our incredible life, health, and transformational coaches who are making a profound impact on the world. Remember, change begins with you, and you have the power to transform your life and the lives of others. If you want to take that next step and unlock your true potential, visit thecoachesalchemist.com, where you can find the 3 ways we can help you for free to spin your talent into gold with clarity, a system, and a plan. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an inspiring episode. And if you enjoyed today's show, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback means the world to us and helps us reach more people with our positive message. Stay connected with us on social media for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and upcoming guest announcements. You can find us on Facebook at the U World Order, or simply visit thecoachesalchemist.com.